So what brought me to the Waldorf School was just a different approach to education.
My parents just one day asked me, what do you think of a school that focuses a lot on the arts? And I thought it was a hypothetical question. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great.
My son was not really responding well to the public school. So he came over here for a one-day interview, and as they say, the rest is history. He said, I'm not going back, I want to stay here.
If you walk into one of the early childhood classrooms, you just feel warmth and caring, and you can feel it right when you step in, and that's, when you have little kids, that's the environment you want them in.
Since I arrived, I'm like in this group, and it kind of feels like a little Waldorf family.
Some friends of ours told us about the Waldorf School. Their child was here, and we took a look, and we immediately enrolled our kids here.
The most important thing initially, when I started to see how the curriculum was and how the Waldorf system was, it was the love of learning and the fact that she just loved going to school every day.
The Waldorf philosophy for me right off the bat was that they were interested in my son, and they were interested in who he was, and they were interested in teaching to him and teaching to him at the level he was at.
They consider the individual while they're teaching the individual.
Teaching what the child's ready to learn instead of figuring out a curriculum and then just saying, okay, here it is.
Before the Waldorf School, a typical night of homework for my son in about 4th grade was reading the textbooks and memorizing the words that were in bold. And it was really a struggle.
I appreciate the focus on the developmental steps and stages that are a part of the learning process and teaching process of the school.
Kindergarten, for instance, is not a traditional academic year.
My youngest got to go to the Forest Kindergarten, and there was just an even greater experience of just living in the outside space.
In Forest Kindergarten, and just the entire environment of bringing the vegetables every week and making their own soup and their own bread, I mean, it was just, I wish I'd gone to school there.
It's a year or sometimes 2 years to get the child to a place where they are ready to learn traditional academics.
Waldorf really tries to help the child develop their whole capacity and not just to the head academic learning.
The way that the lower school teachers engage the students, not only just to do the work, but they engage them physically, and they also engage them imaginatively.
It's easier to see in the elementary grades that not only are the visual learners addressed and the auditory learners addressed, but the tactile learners, the people who learn by feeling and touching and actually moving things with their hands, are addressed and met. And the kinesthetic learners who need to get up out of their seats and move.
I think movement is one of the biggest aspects of our education, but also the artistic. So when a child hears a story or learns how to multiply, for example, it's brought pictorially through a story.
Even sort of integrating in things like eurythmy or some of the other classes that we had that would sort of touch on what we were learning in our main lessons, got me sort of really excited and able to look at things from different perspectives and just really eager to do so. Not just that I could, but that I wanted to, and it just stimulated, this passion for learning really from really early on, even from 1st grade, even kindergarten.
Rudolf Steiner, when he created Waldorf education, he was really thinking about the development of the child and what meets that developing child. And I think in continuing to meet that child appropriately throughout the years, these kids really develop this sense of themselves, and they're proud and interested in all that they do.
In the lower grades, they definitely teach you, how to not come up with creativity, but how to really capture it. And high school, they teach you to funnel all of that creativity into this one point. And that's where you start writing your essay or anything, your drawings, your sculptures, your woodworking pieces, everything.
When I saw the high school students speaking, like their presentation skills, I was blown away. It's better than, adults that I see.
What sold me on Waldorf education is when I came in here and to the high school, and I met some of the seniors.
I remember thinking last year when I came here, everything clicked why they taught us the way they did when we were so young. And it showed me like, wow, I'm like not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to do a presentation in front of my class.
We all get a chance to talk. If we want to say something, more times than not, we do.
The education that we have here, it's not like you sit there, you take notes, and you listen to the teacher. It's an interaction between everyone that's in the room.
I had Mr. Balmer in 8th grade, and he would read us these short stories, and we would not just only just read it in class, but we would talk about it. And for me, I always had trouble writing essays and stuff, but he showed me that just with like hearing all of like the conversation, everything, all the ideas that the students were putting out there, it made me think back when I was writing my essay for that story. I can say everything I want to express just because I'm thinking of the conversation that we had in class. And it led me to just exploring all these different ways of writing just one sentence. How can you make it better? And that's something that I'm so thankful for, because without Waldorf, I don't think I would have ever been able to become a better writer.
These students are so comfortable and they're so confident and they're very self-aware, and they're just friendly. They overall are interested in people and interested in the world around them, and I think that it's an amazing quality that can be fostered here.
I really feel like I came into my own during the high school years, and I think that one of the big reasons for that was the relationships with the teachers.
My favorite thing is it has to do with the size of our school in a way. It's a small school, and it enables us to have deeper and closer relationships with the students.
I think that sometimes in public school, students can get lost. They don't have a mentor or role model that they can look up to. And so I appreciated how the teachers really looked out for the student.
Really, they try and find the source of whatever problem you're having, and they help you solve it.
I think the thing that's really different about the teachers here is that they truly care.
I would say my teachers are my friends.
It would have sounded weird to me before coming here that you could actually have a bond with the teacher and it's not like impersonal and just like you're just another student.
You see them not just as a teacher, but as a whole person, because they tell you stories about when they were your age, and it's not just like when I was your age, but actually explaining where they were at.
The approach the teachers have with the students is a mutual respect.
The more they make you talk to them and interact is when you really find that key confidence in you.
The teachers really care for each student and really try to understand each member of their class and what they're interested in and try to foster that within themselves. So I think that helped me on a career path too.
They go to college at the same rate that other students go to college, but the difference I've seen in our students is that they really have a lot of confidence in who they are and have been supported in who they are, and tend to, I think, come out with more poise and more self-knowledge and more of an idea of what their individual life path could be. And I love seeing that every year.
As of right now, I plan on going to Germany to study engineering and applied physics.
I'm already starting to think about college, and I'm just a sophomore.
I'm planning on going to college right now for human ecology with a concentration in sustainable living.
I plan to attend FIT in the fall for fashion design and merchandising.
I couldn't imagine not continuing to try to expand and grow, and I think that was really, that spirit really came from this education.
The results aren't going to be immediate, you know, like this is an education that really works on kids, and over time they'll watch them exceed, I think, any expectation.
Be patient, because it takes a while for Waldorf to kind of build on itself. You know, and your second grader may not be reading yet, but by the time they're in 11th grade and doing Faust, you'll see the quality of the education that they've received.
I didn't read till 3rd grade.
Me too.
And to really tell you the truth, I think, you know, as a young child in kindergarten, I probably, I didn't want to read. I want someone to read for me, and then I would look at the pictures. And even if you're reading as a child, all you're doing is focusing on saying the words right. And I mean, I've babysat children where they're like, I want to read, but in the end, they're not even listening to the story. They're just so focused on saying the words right and how to spell them out correctly or how to read them correctly that they can't enjoy the bigger picture that's being told in the story. And Waldorf, as children, lets you totally imagine everything that you want, and they read to you and they show you puppet shows, and you take it all in as a child. And then when they feel that you're ready to really step in and start creating and reading for yourself, that's when they decide to teach you.
What this education gave to me, and what I think it would give to any student coming here, is the opportunity to stay open-minded and to think outside the box of how to explore and sort of test out who you are as a person over time, and to do so in a really nurturing environment. So I think it just opens up the world to students who are coming here and really gives them an opportunity to try on different roles, explore different areas, test their strengths, challenge themselves. And it's just, the environment is so supportive and so wonderful and so imparts such enthusiasm. I think that's the biggest reason to send your child here.